Kika, Abu Neptune, Caesar, Abu Neptune, Ball Bed, Abu Neptune, Paw Bed, Pacha, I'm a Yuha, Abu Archer, I'm a Yuha, and I'm a Bacha, Abu Marcha, and I'm a Bacha, Abu Marcha, and I'm a Bacha, Ba, Abu Mama, D.O.H. Welcome once again to CHIMAOGE's Comment. My name is CHIMAOGE. Where do I hail from? Complicated question, because that's a complicated question for everyone. Currently live in Atlanta. I was born in what is now called Washington, D.C. in what most people would now call 1998, during Capricorn time. Yes. Abumotu Elulomiri. Abumotu Elulomiri. I'm a son of the time. My government name is CHIMAOGE Chijioke Ibe. Alternate white structure name, CHIMAOGE Chijioke Ibe Nwoko. The components of that name are not white, but the idea of a first, middle, and last name are white. If you put those three things together, though, that refers to the leader of the world. Amadua, Abumonishi Kalakana. My being is the god of thunder, Abu Magu. Yes, this is my enterprise. My enterprise has many wings. This is where I come, among other things, to explain myself. Welcome. More specifically, things I've said before. Yes. Please patronize my business. Like, share, and subscribe. Still in an emergency time. I'm in urgent need of more food. More funds would help me get more food. And if you're in good standing with me and can physically give me food, that would be much appreciated. Yes. Anyway, there are other names for me. Let me talk about my lineage. My matrilineage hails from the village of VENMO in West Africa. The reference point for my patrilineage. Shout out to all my patrilineal members. Sanzoneba, Kabrinam Nogoha. Calling in all my saints. Yes, your ancestors are your sons. Your relatives who passed away are your saints. The energy never fades. Sanzoneba. Oji Urata, another village there in West Africa. I've registered a viewer. Thank you very much. Every view is a blessing. Yes, look up those villages. Part of West Africa that's kind of near Central Africa, within the bounds of what most people would now refer to as Nigeria. Again, if the border is not natural, I tend to just qualify naming it. Anyway, welcome. I'm making a simple point today, like I was yesterday. Thank you for the comments. Every comment is a blessing. I read comments at my discretion. Allah is another name for land. It's in my language. Most people would call it Igbo language. I think it should be called something else, but I digress. Side note, based upon classification, 3 of my grandparents would be classified as Igbo, and 1 would be classified as Efik. Specifically, my paternal grandfather and my maternal grandmother, both classified as Igbo. My paternal grandmother classified as Igbo, and then my maternal grandfather is the one classified as Efik. Okay, I shout out my entire lineage. Yes, I've mentioned before how there's calamity in my family, but I shout out the lineage overall because my overall lineage is good. I unfortunately do not know most of my lineage, like basically no one today knows most of their lineage, but it's important that we remember that connection goes beyond what you've seen in a time of trouble. The enemies within will fade away, and eventually, AKGK, we will carve up our gene pool, and it will reunite stronger than ever, expand forever, Ka. Anyway, Allah, land, basic. But there are other translations upon my own thought, and I want to base it primarily upon thought, because just some information here. It's always best if spirits confirm what you see in life. But just because spirits confirmed it doesn't mean it came from spirit. Because when you think about it, land is important, it's basic. What else is basic? Matter. Most people in my language wouldn't know how to say matter. Just say Allah. And then Africa, the continent everyone loves. Why is that not land? The first land, the basic land, the base. Expand forever. That's really the point. The hand of God can make its point quickly and then go on, exploding. Can you boo? I boom it better. I boom it better. I boom it better. I name it better. I boom it better. I boom it better. I am mercy. I boom mercy. I boom grace. I boom it better. I boom a Mario. I boom Mario. I am the love of the life, the good husband of the people. I am the glorious purgation of the good husband of the people. I am the God of thunder. Ebetter is also the God of thunder. Yes. Amadio. Yes. That's the base. Anyway, hope you got something out of that. If you speak my language, if you want to refer to Africa, start by just calling it Allah. Because the word Africa is not my language, but, you know, we have to refer to it. Anyway. And side note, I accept that based upon some theories of language I've put forward before, you could argue that Africa is, if you feel like, part of our language. I would just simply disagree. I think that there's a limit to how many different things can be part of a language. I would just say two things. One, personally for me, as someone who is sure I should be speaking my language, it doesn't resonate as a word in my language. And then two, it just sounds different than most of the other words we have available. And when I put it with the other words, it doesn't sound cool to me. So anyway, but it's a valid word in Latin. Africa. Africa, Africa, Africa. And when I'm talking about Latin, I'm talking about the true Latin that most of the words in modern day so-called English comes from. The other versions of Latin we might have aren't necessarily correct because, again, we're limited in our degree to understand languages of the past based off of documentation, because I accept that people might have some non-documentary information, but a lot of the common understanding of Latin comes from documentary evidence. And I'm not saying it's like completely wrong, I'm just saying it doesn't give the full picture. Again, like you can't touch the page and hear how someone pronounced something. So anyway. Abumamadiyo ha hu ha. Abumamadiyo ha nuwa. Abum ha ha ha. Yeah, that's the main point. And then, you know, I'll reiterate the point every once in a while, and then I'm also thinking of ways to get some beef. Yes, yes. Anyway, let me take a seat. And the God can be basic. Oh, the God of thunder is not God. What am I saying by that? I've been on the record saying God is an evil entity. And I've given evidence for that. But I think we can all agree, even though a lot of you won't agree with my statement, that any person who wants to become God is wrong. The image people have of God, of someone who can do everything and anything, is wrong. Okay, like that a person could become that, not possible. So, you know, the idea that me bigging myself up is me feeding into that trend, because the rising trend in society is not it. I just want to make that clear, because people don't big themselves up enough and then at the same time want to be God. It's inconsistent and unhealthy. Anyway. Abumamadiyo ha Bobby. Abumamadiyo ha Bobby. Abumamadiyo ha. Alright. Amadio ha. Amadio ha. Amadio ha. Amadio ha. Amadio ha. Kanwa Amadio ha. Abumoki Keka Amadio ha. Kanwa Amadio ha. Ka Amadio ha. Abumon Yishi Kalakana. Abumon Yishi Kalakana. Anime Yishi the Mishi the Mana. Abumakana. Akaramakana. Abumakanu Karayanuwa. Abumkanu Wakaka. Abumkanu Wakaka. Abumkanu Wakaka. Boom kandu wakaka, wakaka, wakaka. Boom kandu wakaka, wakaka, wakaka. Boom kandu wakaka. Boom kandu nikeka. Boom kandu nikeya. Boom kandu ekejike, 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 ekejike shirike. Ekejike mshike, shike. Weapon soul, weapon soul, weapon soul. Nabe nabe baba. Abum nabe nabe baba. Shukuna to my two papa. 2 11 11. I wish we all become a button cake and uba. A button cake and uba. Aku nuba. We can call ourselves wealth. Aku nuba. Aku nuba. Anime ku nuba. Anime ku nuba. Abumaku kukuka. Abumaku nuba bobe. Abumaku nuba bobe. Abumaku nuba boba. Ukubu amadyo ha, hey, ukubu okike ka. Nubbe, the animal you call the turtle. Some variants of Nubbe can literally be called the turtle. Nubbe, the father of the piercing cry, you can also call it the leg. Why? Because when you look at it, in a way it's like one big leg. Think about it, it's like, it'd be better if I drew it, but, I mean, you can stand on that thing. Ubu can also be called the base, yeah. Anyway, I hope you kind of get what I'm saying. You know, I guess it's like, it'd be better if I draw it later anyway. Abuma madioha naga, abuma madioha naga, abum gaga gaga gaga, gugu gaga madioha, gugu gaga. Gugu gaga, abum gugu gaga, abum gugu gaga. Aneme gaga nuwa, aneme gaga nuwa, abum gaga, gaga, gaga gaga, abum. Abum gaga nuwa, abum kwan so, abum kwan so, abum kwan so, abum kwan nuwa, Neptune kwanu, Leia kwanu, abum wang, abum here hang wanka, abum here hang wang, abum here hanuwa, anime here ha baba, abum here ha papa, papa Mariuha, papa Mariuha, look at him Mariuha, Paul pe Mariuha, ball bit Mariuha. Abuma madi yoha, abuma madi neba, abuma madi, amadi kaka, abuma madi. NkwoOrie amadi shiri ekezenu du nuwaka. I mentioned on the previous live stream I did on NkwoOrie, and I've said it before, that within people of the archetype, personality archetype of Amadioha, you should be careful not to name people who aren't most specifically a version of Shango, but there's some exceptions to that. Apparently the name Amadi refers to Shango when he's acting like a normal Amadioha. So you could name any Amadioha that. So shout out to that name. Amadi, good husband. Abuma Madioha, Abuma Madioha, Abuma Madioha, Madioha, Abum Neptune, God of the sea, Abum Neptune. Abum Neptune, Abum Neptune, Paw, Abuma Madioha, Pa. Abuma Madioha, Abuma Madioha, Abum Neptune, Nabe Kaka, Abum Nabe Monechu, Nabe Oneju, Abum Nabe Moneju, Abum Nabe. Abum Nabe Kaka, Abum Nabe, Abum Nabe. Abum nabi hang, abum nabi hang, abum akaka, abum akaka, oru aka, ihan jadi madioha, oraka, abum akamadioha, abum akogigeka, abum Neptune, God of the sea, abum Neptune, Bebtune, ba, abum Neptune, wa, abum Neptune. Paw, abum Neptune, God of the sea, abum Neptune. 1, 2, 3, abum Neptune. Abum Madio haba, abum Neptune, God of the sea, abum Neptune, Neptune, god of the sea. Abuma Mario Haba. Neptune, Neptune, no Karani Moke. Abumo Karani Moke. Abumo Karani Menko. Abumo Karani Menko. Abumo Karakoko. Ka o me o zo zirize abum ka o me o zo po pe abum po pa abum po pi po pa pi pe pa pi pe pa pe bua madio ha po pe bua ki ke abum po pe pa abum a sha e me sha madio ha ka Abuma Mario Haka, Abuma Mario Haka, Alabu Afrika, Alabu Afrika, Afrika, Nabenua, Uzala, Afrika. Yes. Now, Africa is not my language, but Afrika, I think, is the equivalent. Apparently refers to Nabe and the way of the land. Yes. Straight from the ancestors. Supported by my gene pool. Shout out to the good people, my gene pool. Ekejike, Kanshike, Ekejike, Agameshike, Anamizabu Inja, Anamizabu Inja, Abum Zabu, Zabu, Abum Nabenua, Nabe bu Zabu Boba, Abum Zabu, 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 Abum Zabu. Abum bem neba, abum bem ane bem 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 ebem nabe nuwa nabe ebem otu. My extended cry is also the father of the piercing cry. Let's go. Abuma madiyo haka, abuma madiyo haka, abum na bihen, aneme bihen neba, abum na bihen. Aneme bihemba, bumi hempampa, bumi hempanka, bum wanketa. Abum wakaka, abum wakaka, abum wakakam, abum wakakam. Abuma madio haka, abuma madio haba. Allah is a word in a West African language that means Africa. Yes. That is my own rediscovery, but it's true and it's useful. If you speak what people call the Igbo language, refer to Africa as Allah, the land. Abuma madiyo haka, abuma madiyo hapa, pa pe pa boom on yi shi ala ne babu on yi shi aleze kaka aleze bu ala madiyo ha. Abuma Mario Haka, Abuma Mario Haba, Abuma Mario Hamadio Hanabe Neba, Nabe Mere Neptune Monarchy Keka, Abum Nabe Ka. Abuma Mario Haba, Abuma Mario Haka, Abum Ajuju Nabe Nuwa. Ajuju Nabe Kaka, Abum Ajuju Abum ajuju neighbor, abum ajuju kaka, abum ajuju baba, abum ajuju abum ajuju ba, and then ajuju. These are my different types of work. Yes. Media company stuff. Upcoming stuff to be deciphered later, but maybe you would have gathered stuff from the symbols. Yes. Abuma Madio Haka, Abuma Madio Haba, Abum Neptune, god of the sea, Abum Neptune, 1, 2, 3, Abum Neptune, Monemeliki, Abum Neptune, Nke Abiliki, Abum ma, Abum pa, piri pa, Abum quiri, qua, Abum quiri, qua, Abum. Archamadio habu, archamecha, amadio habu, parche, parche, parpi, pepabu, parche, parapa, mive, yabu, mamadio ha, mone mive, yabu, mamadio ha, mive, yabu, Neptune, Neptune, god of the sea, abu, Neptune, and ability, abu, Neptune, the ability, abu, Neptune. GTV Ground Extra says I subbed. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Abuma muddy haka, abuma muddy haka, abuma muddy ha, muddy ha, muddy ha, babu Neptune, Neptune, god of the sea. Allah, bu Afrika, land, Africa, Saint Louis, abuma muddy ha, muddy ha, muddy ha, babu. Extension of what I'm saying. If you feel that your language is missing words to express concepts you see in other languages, think of some basic word components in your own language and put them together, see if you can get the meaning. And if that doesn't sound right, just start trying different words, go with something that resonates and use that as a stand-in. And you can go on and test the words you come up with and see if that's the real word. Word from above. Abuma Madio Haka, Abuma Madio Haka, Abum Neptune, step tune, 1, 2, 3, Abum Neb, 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 na, Abum Neptune, Abuma Madio, Abum Neptune, Abumo Kike, Nemiki, Nemike, Inki, Neba, Nemiki, Kokirike, Abum Ka, or Me, or Zabum Ka, or Bena babum ka, Berkey ni bena babum ka, or kara ni bena babum ka, or kara ka ki ke kabu, ka kabu, ka. Abu Mamadio Hankishe. Abu Mamadio Hankishe. Let's see, the Hand of God opening Uoma. Yes, upcoming video on Uoma, the Hand of God. Just need to put it together. The Hand of God, the Hog. Abum the Hog. Ooh, I guess the acronym is a thing. The Hog, Abum the Hog. Abum the Hog, Abum the Hog. Abum the Hog, Abum the Hog. Abum igwe moneme igwe, abum igwe monechumkigwe, igwe bigobia so uzala, emeche teta ala amadioha. Yes. Side note, igwe overall is good, but he can have many bad versions. Because igwe as a saint, as an expansion person, as an onyeka, often goes off by himself into Obi Chukwu. Igwe himself is Obi Chukwu. He goes off inside himself. And in there, well, it's not always good. So, if Igwe comes to the world, you have to ask him to obey the rules. And if he doesn't obey the rules, just send him back to Obi Chukwu. There's no such thing as a person who is too big to be sent back home. Amadioha. Abuma Mario Haka, Abuma Mario Haka, Abum Neptune, Neptune, god of the sea, Abum Neptune. 1, 2, 3, Abum Neptune. Ba, Abum Neptune. Ha, Abum Neptune. Ni, Gweneba, Abum Neptune, Monachun, Ki, Gweneba, Abum Neptune, Monachu, Ni, Gweya, Abum Neptune, Monachu, Igweya. Neptune bu igwe kwana buma Mario hameche igwe ya bum igwe ka bum igwe papa abuma Mario ha abuma amarma abuma amarmane babuma abum uku nke chuku abumama amarma abumama amarma Amaramama, Amaramama, Nke Amadiua, Amaramama, Ponquem Nua, Abumama, Bumongishiaka, Abumama, Bumongishiaka, Abumongishi, Aneme Yishineka, Anemechua Shele, Abumongishi, Bikote Tishi Amadioha, Abunte Tishi Kayaka. Alright, anyway, I think that's all for tonight, folks. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. See you next time. Please, once again, to reiterate the point, Allah is a word in a West African language for Africa. That is my own surmisation. I am sure of it. For reference point of the language I'm talking about, look up IGBO language, Igbo language. Allah is commonly used to mean land, and also generally speaking to refer to the ground. Okay. Again, that's not exact in terms of conceptualizing it, but in practice it works. So when I put that together, I think Allah can refer to Africa, just the land, the base of this world. Anyway, thank you very much. Please patronize my business, buy my art, buy my merchandise, subscribe on Patreon, and donate. You can donate on PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App. At OziIbenwuku on PayPal and Venmo, and $ OziIbenwuku on Cash App. Thank you once again. CHIMAOGE here, signing off.